one of the things that we're up against in the culture is sometimes the male's need for sex release is looked at as kind of disgusting.
It's Channel Mom with Jenny Dean Schmidt. We're here for you.
I was just hoping you'd have some advice on maybe something we could do to just have some intimacy more regularly.
Great question. Thanks for calling Channel Mom.
Well, it's an excellent question, and many people can relate with that. We are busy people, and these days are filled with so many things, and the routines get so mixed up, and they're upside down, and so, that's a legitimate concern. And one of the interesting things is we don't always plan for intimacy in the way we plan everything else.
Right.
We tend to, put together, hey, we're going to have lunch today with the 5-year-old, and we work around that because we create these structures. But somehow the sexual intimate thing, we see it as something that should be more spontaneous, and it should be. But the idea of actually thinking this through, because what happens is that we end up hurting each other because somehow it's supposed to kind of happen more naturally, and we feel that we'd be too rigid if we actually structured this. That takes some of the romance out of it, or does that make it mechanical? But I say to women, if your husband said, hey, I would like to talk with you 15 to 30 minutes every night, just the two of us, and we schedule that in for a time of emotional connection. I don't know of any woman who would protest that, that it's meeting a need. And when Sarah and I were first married and the kids were younger, we had 15 minutes every night after dinner where we would shut the bedroom door and talk. And the kids would pound on the outside door, but we said, no, this is Mom and Dad's time. And we were talking. That's what we were doing. Sarah had her list of things she wanted to share from her heart. In a similar way, you get so busy, you need to think through the sexual intimacy issue, and particularly if the husband has a need in that area, he needs sex release, as I say, in the same way that a woman needs emotional release. And neither are wrong, they're just different. Mm-hmm. But one of the things that we're up against in the culture is sometimes the male's need for sex release is looked at as kind of disgusting, or it certainly doesn't seem to be that important to intimacy. What really is important to women is we need to talk, we need to connect, we need to touch hearts, and that's really what's important. And the sexual component, well, you know what, some women will say, I can go on for a long time without it right now with the kids and all that's going on. So it gets marginalized. That's not true for every woman. There are some men who are not sexually involved, and the women are dying. But generally speaking, the complaint comes from the male. So then I suggest that the two adult people think about this, that if one of them has a need in this area, or they both do, and somehow their schedules are preventing that, and that's why the Bible says stop depriving one another, then thoughtfully schedule this. Get on a rhythm with this. And here's why. Sometimes we make our children the priority or our work the priority, and we work 30 years doing all that, and then one day we wake up and we don't have anything in common with each other. And so we've spent all this time providing for our children, but we do not serve our children well when we serve them divorce papers that they can see.
Right.
We've got to see this as ultimately giving to the children, us being together, alone, together. And I've said to people, when Sarah and I had that 15 minutes together, we were excluding the kids, and that was the best gift that we could give our children.
That's so true. So true.